Hey everyone, you're listening to InfoQuench with Jeff,
and Amy,
a podcast with tips to make your life easier.
covering pop culture, parenting, travel, minimalism, and more.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the podcast. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Amy.
And what are we talking about this podcast?
We're going to be talking about ways to disconnect from work. 16 ways to be exact.
Everybody, it's 16 of them. Wow. Everybody needs to do that. And you can't just go for your go-to, which is wine. You can't have just a glass of wine after every day at work.
Oh, honey, that was my numbers 1 through 15.
That would have been funny if it was, actually. But yeah, no,
that didn't even make the list.
You really do. You really do have to disconnect after work. You can't bring work home, right?
No.
It's not a good thing to do.
No, you need a mental break. And, number 1 on my list is just don't talk to anybody you work with outside of work.
Really?
Yeah, like don't be friends with people on Facebook. If you see them on the sidewalk, you really should just, avert your eyes.
Really? That's not true. You can't do that. You can't just.
I'm just kidding.
You can't just ignore everybody that you work with.
If you see them at the grocery store, just turn the other way.
There is a tendency to not necessarily be close friends with people you do work with, though, right?
Well, I think some people have that belief, but I mean, you're spending a lot of time with your coworkers, and
it's probably because people want to disconnect from it.
I want to enjoy the time. It's your 40 plus hours at work is a big part of your life. So for me, my tip number 1 was, that was a complete lie. I definitely think it's good to have good relationships with the people you work with. So I just wanted to see if you'd fall for it.
Well, no, I kind of had an idea that you were kidding. Like I work with the same person 5 nights a week, and we never. I mean, I can count.
And it's just you and
it's
him.
just me and him, and it's. I can maybe we hung out twice outside of work, maybe and it's cool that way. Believe me, we see too much of one another.
Yeah, I wonder if he's listening right now.
Yeah, if you are, Jason, I'm talking about you because you're the guy I work with.
Number 1, this is the real number 1 of 16 ways.
Okay, the real number 1
is silence your damn phone.
Silence your damn phone.
A lot of us have work-issued cell phones or devices.
Yeah.
And we leave them on at all hours of the day thinking that we're, we need to be reachable. And there are some jobs when you're on call at designated times, and that's all. Obviously, there's exceptions.
Yeah.
But for the most part, people understand that you do need to disconnect and spend time with family.
Yeah.
The same way, I think about the fact that if I were if I was in a work meeting and a friend just called to chat in the middle of the workday, all my friends are working too, so that probably wouldn't happen. But theoretically, if that were to happen,
right,
I wouldn't be expected to, if I left the meeting and said, sorry, got to take this call, my friend wants to chat.
That would not be
people would never even
translated too well.
No, well, people wouldn't think twice about doing that, right?
There would be a lot of, did you see what Amy just did?
Yeah.
She just left
because when you're at work, you're expected to work. So it's interesting that we don't give our family time that same,
same attention,
same level of importance that, when we're having time, whether we're having dinner, whether we're just relaxing on the couch and watching a movie, that's designated time for our own social life.
Put your phone on silent if you're going to watch a movie.
Put your phone on silent. And if
a lot of people don't, because they're always worried. And I know you fall into this category every once in a while. You're always worried that you're going to get a very important phone call that, is that one time you silenced it to watch a movie that you get that crazy important phone call that really you shouldn't have missed.
Well, and you know what, though? At what sacrifice?
I know. I agree with you.
Personal time.
But a lot of people have that mentality where it's well, what if that one really important phone call comes in and someone really needs me?
So personally for me, I actually have my phone settings at, when I go home, they're automatically silenced at the end of my workday. So, I mean, they're pretty high tech, these phone things they've got now. And you can have them go silent at the end of your workday. So say you finish your work at 5 o'clock. At 5 o'clock, your email notifications can go to silent, and then you can have just your phone ring come on. So for me, I know if my phone rings, then after hours, it probably is. If my work phone rings after hours, it's probably an important thing. But an email after hours could be just somebody's catching up on work. So if I hear an email ding off on my work phone at 7, 8 o'clock,
Right.
my mind automatically shifts to work. Even
Yeah.
if I don't go and check to see what the email is,
Right.
you're pulled out of your time frame where you're focused on family and
Yep.
your social time and your downtime, and you're right back in the work mindset. So for me, I have a tendency to just have my email silenced.
Mhm.
My phone will still ring. So if there was an emergency and somebody felt the need to actually call, I'd still hear
Yeah.
that. And I just check my, see, Charlie
My
agrees.
my phone rarely rings anyways. It's either you or my mother, or work very rarely.
And then I'm
Maybe the
talking about when you have a
cable
work
company.
designated device too. If
Yeah.
you have a device that's issued by your work, and then just check your email at a set time.
Yeah,
You
that
know,
makes
so-
sense.
And then
It-
don't
it-
think about it all night long.
That makes sense for sure. There's always those calls that you get when you're not expecting any call whatsoever. When as soon as the phone rings, you're like, "Uh-oh, like what happened? What's going on here?"
When a call happens at an
Like,
off time,
yeah,
whether it's a
at an
personal
off
or work
time.
call.
Yeah. Anyway,
I know. I don't. That's not a good feeling. Number 2, I spent a lot on that first one, but I thought that was a really important
it
one.
is an important one. Yeah, you got to disconnect. Period. Anyways,
So
I'm
disconnect
trying to
is
read more
disconnect.
books. That's my big thing. Like I'm trying to read books more than be on my phone and just wasting time looking at Facebook or whatever. And it's working. I find it's working, and I'm really enjoying books. By the way, Kitchen Confidential by Anthony Bourdain. I know it's been out for years, but I'm just reading it now. It's great.
I'm so glad you're finally reading it.
Yeah, it's great.
So we can talk about it.
Yeah.
But now it's been so long since I've read it, I'll have to.
I know
do
I've already said a
refresher.
couple of things that I've read in the book to you, and you're like, I don't remember that.
I know, deer in headlights look. I'm not a good faker either.
No.
Okay, number 2. Have a little bit of a shutdown or a closing ritual when you leave your work. It just gives you some mental closure. And what I mean is just, it could be something as simple as clearing your desk, pushing your chair in,
So you
maybe
make
just
that
turning off your monitor, shutting down your laptop.
physical disconnect from work.
Yeah,
you-
closing the windows up, clear your browser, windows. Maybe it's writing, your to-do list or
for the
something
next
like
day
that.
or something.
Yeah, exactly. So just have that closing ritual, and it lets you put in a timestamp at the end of
makes
your
sense.
workday, and then you can shift your mental focus just to you time.
My job is so unstressful that I don't really have a wind down thing for work or anything. I understand why people would though. I really do. I get it.
Well, and number 3 is to schedule a little bit of time to do that closure. A lot of us will, and I'm guilty of this too, will schedule meetings up to the very last minute of the day. And it
Which
doesn't
creeps
really
into
give
your
you a
time when you should be off.
Well, no, it doesn't give you any time to mentally, decompress, to sort of get
Yeah.
things compartmentalized, to maybe reflect on the day, think about the upcoming day. So, if at all possible, if you're able to schedule some time to do that closing ritual.
Yeah.
And, it only 5-10 minutes is all you really need.
It's
to,
true.
So you're not rushing out the door
it
worrying
makes
whether
a
you've
definite-
forgotten something.
It makes a definite cut from like when you're at work and when you're leaving,
Yes.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
And say goodbye to people too, right? That's another thing.
Not
And I-
goodbye, just see you later
No,
maybe.
see you later.
Goodbye. Goodbye to everybody.
Forever.
Goodbye forever.
No, but I that's just sort of an add-on. I know that I've been lucky. I think everywhere I've worked, we've always done this. But
Yeah.
I know that there are some workplaces that people don't even
just
acknowledge people in the morning.
Poke your head in the door. Hey,
at
have
the
a
end
good
of the
night.
day. Yeah,
you
it makes
know.
all the difference.
Especially to your boss. I think that's a good thing to do. Just like, see you later. I'm out. You can't ask
Bossy
me.
out.
You can't ask me to do anything more today because I'm out.
Yeah.
Basically, you just say that next time.
Things you
Just
that'll
say
be
that
on our
to your
next
boss.
episode. 10 things to never say to your boss.
Oh, there's a good one. Yeah. Actually, if anybody listening has ideas for shows that you may think that we would like, please send them our way through social media avenues and stuff.
Yeah, shows you mean topics that
Yeah,
you-
topics. That's what I mean.
Okay,
yeah, like
not shows-
future topics.
Yes. Okay.
Or television shows you think we should watch. Whatever.
Or anything.
Where
you
do we
think
start
would like.
there? Just what do we want? Oh, we just finished The Deuce. It just finished. And it's a
Yes.
great show.
Yeah, it was well done. James Franco.
James Franco.
Although I think there's some whole Me Too
Oh,
stuff
there's-
around him. I can't keep up. But
It's controversial.
okay, so number 4, have a welcome home ritual. I'm all about the rituals, but
Yeah, you are.
having a little, whether you're stepping in
Welcome
the
home.
door, whether it's hugging your kids, whether it's is that how I
Things like
sound?
that.
Is that how I sound when I come in the door?
Hi, everybody. I'm home. That's kind of what you do. No, I'm just joking. I don't know if you know this, but like, our little guy, he greets you at the door every day.
I know, it's awesome.
I prompt him to do that, just so you know.
Oh, so you want credit?
No, I'm just telling you that it's like you should be doing that. This is your mother. Go and say hello to her when she gets home. You greet, your mother.
Greet your mother.
And your father. And your father. That's right.
All right. I don't know if it means more or less now.
Doesn't matter. It happens.
But that ritual at the end of the day, for me, I have to change my clothes.
Yes, you do.
Whether it's just putting on like more casual clothes, but getting out of my work
clothes. But it does get you like
mental...
5 days a week wearing the same outfit kind of thing, Just joking. I know you don't do that.
What do you mean?
Well, I just mean like you can take them off as soon as you get home from work and then, oh, presto, they're not dirty anymore. And you can wear them the next day.
You mean, yeah.
Or 2 days after. You got to mix it up so people don't see you coming to work the same outfit all month.
I wear them till they're like stiff so they can like stand up on their own.
I'm just joking.
I do not do these things.
I'm joking.
Where does this stuff come from?
I don't know.
It's a mental shift to change out of your work clothes, I think. Or maybe it's, pouring that glass of wine like you mentioned, or having a cup of tea, whatever it may be. But just that little, you're getting home, getting cozy, getting comfy. Getting into you time. Number 5. Another way to disconnect from work is to exercise.
Yeah. Which I don't do at all, but.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of people who like to exercise in the morning, just
you do your yoga
to get focused. Yeah. I like to exercise. Some people like to go straight after work, and that's a bit of a transition time where they go from work to the gym and then home, and that kind of gets their mindset shifted. I'm lucky enough to be able to walk to and from work, and for me, that's huge. It's a great time to decompress. It's only, about a 15-20 minute walk, but it's a great time to just...
It's a little bit of exercise as well. Like,
listen to a great podcast like our own.
Yeah, we listen to yourself.
Kidding. We don't listen to our own podcasts that much. That'd be lame.
By the way, our podcast is InfoQuench. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening right this second.
Yeah.
Number 6, make time to be well.
Be well.
Or make time to be sick.
Yeah. If you're sick, stay home.
A saying I remember an old supervisor of mine used to say. He said, make time to be well or make time to be sick. So, it was just the importance of taking time to, whether it's to meditate, to exercise, whatever self-care you need. But if you don't fit that time into your schedule, which is a great way to also, shift your mind away from work and the stress that's involved, then you better make time to be sick, because that stuff will catch up with you. The stress will catch up with you, and eventually your body will say,
I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm done. And I'm just going to take a time out.
So make time to be well or make time to be sick. You choose.
It's true.
I choose well.
I choose well as well.
Choose well.
Choose well. Choose well.
And number 7, to disconnect from work, make that to-do list for the next day. I referenced that a little bit with the whole closing ritual at the end of the workday, but making a to-do list for the next day and writing it down gets it out of your head. A lot of us will, sit at home at night and start to run through the next day and what meetings we have and what tasks we need to accomplish. If you can set aside the 5 or 10 minutes as part of your closure ritual and include in that writing down what your to-do list is, it will just get it out of there.
Even if it's just your top 3 things you need to do as soon as you get to work.
Yeah, it's not, and it's a simple thing. It's like we don't walk around all day saying, got to get milk, got to get milk, got to get milk. No, we write it on our grocery list.
Yeah,
maybe some of us walk around all day saying,
well, and then we forget it at home and go to get groceries without it.
That happens too.
Then text our wives to see what it is that we need to get.
How many wives have you got?
Well, I just mean like, I know. The royal we.
The royal wives. All right.
That's right.
Number 8. If something does come to mind that you don't have on your to-do list, that you haven't written down, just send an email to yourself. So number 8 is just like as it pops into your head and at night, I like to send an email to myself because I know it'll be in my inbox in the morning and I can check it first thing in the morning and I don't have to think about it anymore.
Right.
So if you get that thing that wakes you up at 3 a.m. and you're like, oh no. if I
Even
forget
that is
this-
kind of an old school method. There are a lot more immediate ways to do that now, right? With like OneNote or whatever it's called. It's almost like it's like Post-it notes, but like not like digital kind of thing.
Oh
Do
yeah,
you know
there's
what I mean?
a myriad of ways.
Yeah, but I guess the simplest and probably the most, known way is to email yourself.
Right.
Why not?
Or you could tie a string on your finger like Ernie
Yeah.
did. Didn't Ernie do that on Sesame Street?
Is that what he did? I
think
I
so.
didn't see that episode,
So
but
he could remember
that seems like
things.
something Ernie would do, though, for sure. Tie a string.
And then he'd be like, why do I have that string on my finger? Oh, yes.
What if you just always just forgot why you had the string on your finger, though, and you just walked around with string on your finger?
No, then it's a fashion statement.
True. Ernie,
Number
he's a
9.
trendsetter.
He was. Manage expectations.
Hebert. What's that? What'd you say?
I gotta back away from the mic because
Hebert.
my laugh is so loud. I noticed in the last couple of episodes, we do actually re-listen to our podcast episodes
That's how you get better.
to check sound quality and all those weird pauses, like actually overuse of words. I have there's certain words that I become very conscious that I overuse in our podcast.
Yeah.
So definitely I listen back, but I noticed that I was a little quiet. So I'm trying to be louder, which is the only time in my life I've been told I'm quiet is when
Yeah.
I'm actually recording myself. Because every time I'm laughing or something, I'm usually exceptionally loud.
I agree. I concur.
You concur. Okay. Number 9 was manage expectations. So if you're the person who all of a sudden is accessible 24/7, then the people that you work with are going to come to expect that too.
That's right.
And you don't need to be a work martyr.
Nope.
You
You could even, like, if they're texting you or whatever from like about work things outside of work time, you can always just say, "Oh, just at the movies with family," so that they get the idea.
How do you
you
write
know,
that in an
like-
email? Yeah.
At the movies with
Family.
family, like in big capitals, capital letters. Yeah. So that they get the idea that, leave me alone. When it's not work time, just leave me the heck alone.
Well, you know what though? People can send email at any time of the day, and that's fine because everybody chooses to do their work at different times. They all have their own,
I don't have-
schedules in terms of when they're most productive. So I completely understand that emails will come in after hours.
Well,
but
then that brings me to another thing then. Turn off all your notifications. That's what I don't have a single notification. Like,
well, that
if
was
someone
number
sends
1.
if someone sends me an email, oh yeah, that's true, it is. If someone sends me an email, I don't even know I have it until I check all of my emails. Like,
Right.
I don't
Oh,
get
the
like
little
a-
red circle notifications?
Yeah, I don't get anything. The only notifications I get is whenever I get a text, it comes. It doesn't make a sound, but it just shows on my home screen or whatever. And that's it. I don't want to be bugged, and nobody should outside of work time, whether it's work or not. Anyway, that's the way I feel.
Tell me how you really feel.
Read a book. That's what I'm saying. Read a book.
So managing expectations, I think, is important. I have my personal motto. My personal motto
My
is
personal motto is Hebert.
to under promise and over deliver.
Yes, I've heard you say that to me.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's always good. You
Yeah.
know, set the bar low,
yeah.
and then you're always exceeding expectations.
That's
So,
true.
Yeah, I think we often think people are going to criticize us or wonder about our work ethic if we don't respond to an email within 5 minutes of receiving it. And you know
Hardly
what?
anybody
if
does
it's
that,
after hours, I think the majority of people are going to respect that you respect your time with friends and family.
Most deaf.
Most deaf. Most
my
deaf, Jeff.
Yeah, you got it.
All right. Number 10, along the same lines, is to set boundaries. And
What kind of boundaries? Like personal space?
yeah, just full on build walls.
Get away from me.
No, but just the idea of not taking a call at work that's a personal call, that's not of an urgent nature. You don't take a work call.
Sometimes you can, but you just shut it down pretty quick. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like
Again,
you can't ignore your whole life outside of work. Although your employer would like you to do so in most cases, I would assume.
It's an interesting dichotomy, isn't it? That
Yeah.
the way they expect, and
like-
every employer is different. Again, I've been fortunate enough that the employers I work for have always been good
Yeah.
at promoting a work-life balance, but I know that that's not always the case.
Yeah.
So
No, it's
sometimes
not
it's
at
up to
all.
you as the employee to set up some boundaries
Yeah.
in terms of when you're accessible and what's expected of you and
Yeah.
what your work hours are.
There are some jobs that you can have there. They expect you to be doing something job related at all moments of the day. Like,
You mean while you're at work, being paid to
while
work?
you're at work, get ready to
Go
get
figure.
paid. The whole you got time to clean, you got time to lean, you got time to clean.
Oh,
You ever hear that saying?
yes.
It's like, if you're not doing anything,
like
clean.
if you work in a fast food restaurant.
Yeah,
And you're,
which I did.
yes.
And that was one of the mottos there. And that, you know what? Another thing that this fast food restaurant did was that they made us sit around when we weren't scheduled in case it got busy. Like if it wasn't busy, we sat around even though we were scheduled to work, and then we were able to work when it got busy.
But you weren't paid?
We weren't paid.
To sit around?
And they found out anyway.
Well, yeah, I think that would be you're forced
I
to
don't know why
stay
I'm telling you
there,
this, but it was pretty
like
crazy.
on call
Yeah.
fast food staff.
Yeah, on call. Just sit around, and if it gets busy, you can work.
And
that
then
kind
we'll
of
pay
thing.
you when you're working?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would not fly nowadays.
No, not at all. We had to get a retro pay for that.
That was a great story, honey.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for sharing.
Yeah, that had nothing to do with our podcast, but there you go, people. That's the kind of people we are.
Number 11, separate your devices.
Do it. Separate them. Crack them right in half. Put one half in the freezer. Put one half in the snowbank.
Now, what I'm talking about is if you do have a work-issued cell phone, if you need to be reached by cell phone for work, keep your work cell phone separate from your personal cell phone. You don't need to have the two merged on one device.
People do it, though.
They
Come
do.
on.
A lot of people don't like to carry two phones.
No.
For me, it's important. I want that work
I know people have three
personal
phones.
separation. 3 phones.
For different work.
What's the third one for? The second family?
A different job.
Okay. Oh, they've got two jobs,
Two
you mean?
different jobs and their personal phone,
Right.
which is crazy. Like, who wants to carry around 3 phones?
Well, I
You
mean,
look like Mad Max.
but do you need to be accessible 24/7
No, probably
for
not.
both jobs?
No,
So
probably
in
not.
that case, why would you be,
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't know.
But separating your devices, having
People are lucky
a
I have
separate-
one phone.
having a separate laptop so that when you're working on your work stuff, you're focused on work, and when you're working on personal stuff, you're focused on personal stuff, and you don't get drawn. Your mind doesn't get drawn in one direction or the other.
Yeah, makes sense.
Number 12 is hide your work.
Hide
Hide
work?
it.
What work?
I don't know. I can't see any.
It's hidden well.
But out of sight, out of mind. So when you get home, if you carry a laptop bag or briefcase, stash it away and get it out of sight, out
I
of
see.
mind. And
Yeah, that makes
don't bring
sense.
it. A lot of people will bring work into their bedroom and do work there, unless you're like home bedridden or something, and
Yeah.
you're trying to meet a deadline, which I've been there. There's again always exceptions, but in general, you don't need to be staring at work while you're home. So if you can tuck it away, have a designated spot for your work stuff, and don't let it
Look
creep
in the
into the rest of
garbage.
your house.
In the garbage. Just throw it in the garbage every day when you get home.
Yeah, that works great for the paycheck.
Just get a new laptop every day. No, that makes sense though. You don't want to be reminded of work when you're not at work. I got it out eventually.
But yes.
But yeah.
Same as why you gotta take off those work clothes.
Yes.
And put them aside to wear day
Yes.
after day.
Yes.
Number 13 of ways to disconnect from work is delegate your work when you go on vacation. So if you have the opportunity to do that, whether it's even just having an auto reply that specifies somebody else who's going to be taking care of the responsibilities,
Got
or
a problem?
that they can
Ask this
contact.
person.
Well, yeah, it might stop the tidal wave of emails in your inbox when you get back from vacation.
Mm-hmm.
And I mentioned this in another episode. There are companies who will automatically redirect your email when you're on vacation, just so that you don't try to check it.
Yeah, that's true. And yeah. Those things make sense when you're not at work to do like this reply email or whatever, or like message on your phone that says, look, I'm not at the office, so get bent, that kind of thing,
Yeah. Again, well, that'll be in the other podcast episode, things to never write in a professional work email.
Hi, I'm not at work today. I quit.
Number 14.
14.
Have something fun to do on Sunday nights. Sunday nights are known for Sunday night blues, and maybe your Sunday night is actually a Monday. It's basically the day,
Yeah.
the night before you start your regular work
Right.
week, whatever that may be for you. But have something fun to look forward to so that you're not just dreading work. I mean, lately for us, Sunday night has been recording podcasts, which is a fun thing to do. It's
Most
something
nights. We miss a few nights, but that's okay. I mean, we're not robots.
Well, no, but I mean, when we record podcasts, they're usually on Sunday.
It is
evenings.
usually Sunday night, and we usually do 2 at a time,
You're not a robot?
which is good. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. No, I'm not. But yeah, no, it makes sense because I don't know, like, if someone even slightly isn't really into the job that they're doing, the day before they go in for the whole week of work, yeah, they get a little sluggish, they get a little anxiety, a little kind of, don't really want to go kind of thing.
Well, why ruin your Sunday with,
Yeah.
worrying about the next day?
So just get drunk.
That's just a waste of a Sunday. I'm trying to avoid, substance abuse.
I know, and I'm just like, get drunk,
So-
smoke the dope.
If you really want to disconnect from work, just drink yourself to obliteration. Works like a charm every time.
I know.
No, but other Sunday night rituals could be, maybe you do a yoga class, a hot yoga class on Sunday night. Maybe it's family movie night where
Yeah.
you just, do pop popcorn and pick out a fun movie to
Watch the
with
Bad News
family.
Bears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just curling up with a book or whatever. But try to make it something special that you just do on Sunday and look forward to it.
Yep.
Then, number 15, limit how much you talk about your day after you get home.
That's hard to do sometimes.
It is. Sometimes we
Sometimes
have
you
buggers
just
of
need
days.
to vent, you know?
And you do.
You need to get
But
it
you know
out.
what? Vent and then be done with it. Set
Yeah.
a short period of time, get it out of your system, and then don't let it trail on and your whole evening be spoiled by the events of the day, whatever they may be. Because you know what? They'll be waiting for you the next day.
I don't know. You know, one thing I've never understood is like when people say, oh, just don't bring, work home or don't bring home to work or whatever. Like you're like a unidirectional human being.
Right? You're not a robot, you mean?
I am not a robot. But no, you can't leave work at work and home at home. They commingle.
Well,
know?
no, you can't just walk through the door and
You
be
can't.
all stressed out because
I
maybe
never
you had
understood why people did that. I mean, it's usually the person who comes to work and cries because whatever's happened at home every day, and it becomes a problem. And they're like, "Oh, don't bring your problems to work." That makes sense. But like,
sounds like some
it's-
made-for-TV movie or
I
something.
know it's like after school special or something. But yeah, you know what I mean though? Like it makes no sense to me because it's impossible not to do that.
No, we're human, and I mean, if you walk through the door and you're a bit, stressed out, I think it's okay to talk to your significant other and say, "Hey, listen, had a stressful day. I had a few major projects or, a lot of back-to-back meetings, but then be done with it and just enjoy your time at home, and
Yeah.
because there'll be plenty of time to talk about work at work."
Yeah, most deaf.
And number 16, last but not least, to disconnect work from work. Don't let work be who you are. Don't let your job be your identity.
No.
It's important to have other things that define who you are, things that you enjoy,
So
whether
ways to
they're
a means.
hobbies. Maybe you're do a certain sport. Maybe you're a musician. Maybe you record podcasts for a creative outlet. But if your work is your full identity, it becomes very difficult to disconnect.
Yeah, it's true.
And again, I know some jobs, like if you're a physician, chances are it's, that's something that it is a very big part of your identity, but it doesn't need, there's still many facets to every human being
Absolutely.
that are
Absolutely.
above and beyond what they're
Yep.
doing for their 9 to 5. So
you got to
that's
be
sort of
you
you got to be you.
at work and apart from work.
And that's the end of the official list. I know that these are not easy. They're things that I struggle with myself. I actually kind of wanted to put a little list together just to kind of as my own mental reminders. But you know what? Nobody was ever on their deathbed and wish they worked another day.
No, I know.
Exactly. It's time with friends and family.
Gotta live
that
another day.
is what's important. So make sure you disconnect from work so that time is quality time. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening, everybody, and tune in to our other podcast at InfoQuench.com.
And another way to disconnect from work is to listen to past episodes of
Yes.
InfoQuench.
While you run, you get an exercise too. Okay, see you later.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening.
Be sure to visit InfoQuench.com to subscribe and catch up on past episodes.
You can also check out InfoQuench on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Till next time.